Aloha. What's up, perverts? Anyone watching the game? A little bit disappointed here. I mean, I do like both teams, but I thought it'd be a lot tighter than it is. Would have been good to see Rodgers and Kermit in the Super Bowl. Anyone else thinks he sounds like Kermit? Jimmy Garoppolo definitely wears Dior Homme 2020. Oh, man. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I've got Dior Homme 2020 here. I've got kind of all my Dior's. Dior. I've got my Dior mug. Let me know what you guys are wearing. I was in Psycho more eau de parfum today all day. This evening, after my shower, I am in number 5, body oil. Boy, I like boy. So I started backing some shit up. So I know, like with this 2020, which isn't a bad fragrance after getting to, wear it a few times now. It's not as bad as it's being made. I kind of feel sorry for it. It's not horrible, but it's not great by any means. And I think the problem is people like Dior Homme has such a cult following, and any little minor change to it, people just kind of went nuts and they're taking it out on 2020. And I understand totally. But it smells, it kind of reminds me of Sport, which I've never owned, but I went by the department store today and I sprayed on some Sport and I was like, a little bit of a familiarity there. Somebody saying overrated. What is overrated? Somebody wants to see my feet. I'm not showing you my feet, man. What's up, Bobby O? Bobby O's in the house. Saw your video today. Really cool, man. I'd love to visit Hawaii sometime. Check out H2Ono's video. He lives out in Hawaii and he doesn't post many videos, but once in a while he'll post something fragrance related, which I like to listen to his take. I think he should post more videos. Screw that. You know what? 504 Men Fragrance. I've never been a Saints fan. I could just never get into that team. I'm not sure. I like both of these teams playing right now. San Fran and Green Bay. I've been a Green Bay fan since Favre, and San Fran has just such a rich history. I don't really have any favorite teams. I don't really care. I much prefer to watch a good game. Max Fake T is a Packer fan. I think he likes packing it in. That might be a reason why. Most of my viewers are homosexual. I'm not surprised. I don't think all, but there could be a good bunch. So I question sometimes some of them, when they're asking to see my feet. Christian M in Semi Bespoke number 7 by Roja Dove. Wow. Semi Bespoke number 7 by Roja Dove. Wonder what Roja charges for his bespokes. I know Guerlain charges about 40,000, and that's with 3 or 4 sessions. You get to talk to Thierry Wasser and kind of tell him what you like, what you don't like, and $40,000, eh? Wow. Oh yeah, you're talking about the Guerlain is 40. I imagine Roja's even more. What's up, Professor X? All right, so so the Dior Homme. So what we know is that Dior Homme O, which I've never owned before. Let me take off this price sticker. Is going to be discontinued in North America. I talked to the Dior sales rep who represents the Canadian division, and she said it's being discontinued. And I've never owned O, but I picked up a bottle. I ran into it recently, and I picked one up. And she said this was released only for the North American market. And since we got O, Dior Homme Intense was released only in the European market. You know, I've never worn this, but with the few times I have tried it, I remember it being more powdery than a regular Dior Homme. It is also very mass appealing, but I have to say, I think I would prefer this more than 2020. Actually, not a whole lot more. It's not very good. It's very fresh, but I don't know why. Like, what's the reason for discontinuing this? What is their purpose? I got a great book from Neil Chapman by the name of Perfume. Do you have that book? I don't. I'm not even very familiar with it. Like, should I know about this book? What are you drinking? I'm not drinking anything, but I have to say, have any of you guys caught BFL's live streams last week? I swear I have never enjoyed watching live streams as much as he had two of them last week, and he was pretty ripped in both of them. And they were pretty late at night, and I got to get up at 4 a.m. to go to work. I'm supposed to be work at 5, but I have trouble sleeping at night, so I'm usually up all night, and then I can't get up in the morning, and I stroll in around 9 a.m. while everyone's been there for 4 or 5 hours already. But I caught his streams, and I've never laughed so hard. If it was anybody else but BFL, I don't think I would have stuck around. But there's just something about his streams that have this, I don't know, just like they can get pretty chaotic. And for whatever reason, for somebody that's really like wants to be positive, he carries a lot of trolls for some reason. I don't know why. I don't get it. And I've always wondered, like, why my channel doesn't get trolled as much, considering all the crap that I've said and pulled off, and you know, kind of the things that I do or post on here. I guess I've just been really fortunate. But yeah, he got pretty ripped, and I got a hold of his phone number somehow, and I started texting him right in the midst of his live stream, and he was like, "Wow, Eugene, what the hell? Like, why is Eugene texting?" And I've never texted him before either. But I asked him to, if I come to New York, will he meet me for tacos? So it looks like it's going to happen. I'm going to go to New York. I was supposed to meet with George Zaharoff in Chicago and just hang out. But I've only got one. So every 6th weekend I have free to do whatever I want. And I was going to go meet George. And I kind of said to George, hey, like, what do you think of going down to New York and meeting up with Carlos and hanging out? And he was like, yeah, he's down. So I might end up in New York, and it might be in the next few weeks. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah, he started taking his shirt off, and I don't know if it was at that time or later on. He started imitating a couple of reviewers, myself included, which I thought was funny. I wasn't offended at all. Like, I mean, you got to go pretty deep to irritate me or to offend me, because I don't really care. It's not like you're not. I'm not speaking about him specifically, but it's not really a reflection of me or whoever it is he's imitating. So I'm not really bothered, but he apologized profusely. He's like, "Sorry, I didn't mean to." I was like, "No, man, I wasn't offended." But he went on and he started imitating a couple other reviewers, and one was Agnes, and I think she took it personal and she removed her videos and she was offended. But I don't think, like, knowing Carlos, I don't think he was coming across like that, like trying to offend her or be an asshole. Or he had a couple of drinks and he was just trying to be funny and entertain his viewers, which I totally get. A lot of this is just entertainment, like, so I kind of felt bad for both parties. I felt bad for Agnes that she was so hurt, and that Carlos got into a little bit of trouble. All right, so somebody else is chiming in here. Gent Sense Ashton's saying Carlos had called her some nasty name. I don't know anything about that. I'm not sure. Don't know anything about that. You're supposed to stroll. You're supposed to be at work at 5 a.m. and you stroll. No, I'm not the owner. I'm just very fortunate to work in a place that, as long as I get my shit done, I can pretty much come, go, not show up as I please. Serapio Silva's retracting messages. Now I'm curious. Now you've got my attention. If anyone sees what he posted, please let me know. So he's posted later. I'm like 180 on my opinion of Carlos. I'd love to. I think he'd be one of the funner guys to hang out with in Fragcom. I'm so lost with these comments. There's so many damn comments here. I think he'd be pretty fun. When I watch Carlos, he's like all over the place. He's like this. Emotions, like when he's happy, his emotions are sky high. When he's pissed, it's like down here. So it's really entertaining to watch. I get a kick out of watching emotional people. There's a lot of people, they're just really dry and they're just like right across the board, from start to finish. Something excites them. They don't really move up a whole lot. They don't really move down a whole lot. They're just like really balanced. And there's nothing wrong with that. All the power to them. They probably don't suffer as much as emotional people, but damn, Carlos can be super fucking hilarious. Backup bottle boss. I'm not drinking though, eh? You can donate all you want, but you're not going to be getting me to do shots tonight, because I'm going to try and make it into work early tomorrow. But thank you for your super chat. Romeo's in the house. What's up? He smells like Rome. Beef Curtains is in the house. Serapio wants to get wasted with Carlos. No homo. His videos are fun. I mean, I was literally like laughing hysterically during his live streams. Serapio Silva was there to entertain us, and he kept getting into it with Carlos, which is always fun. And Carlos had to warn him several times. Then he'd get up in the middle of his live stream to go. I don't even think he remembers what he was doing, but he said like the next day, he said so many people called to check up on me. He'd get up in the middle of his live stream to go feed his cats, like cat food and water, and then he'd get up to make a drink, and he like you can hear him in the background going "Pasta la vista, baby." He'd just be repeating "Pasta la vista" over and over. And there was a couple other things. He kept Blur de Chanel. He kept singing Blur de Chanel, Blur de Chanel. I don't know what any of it meant, but it was hilarious regardless. Yeah, so he did imitate Renee. He imitated myself. He imitated Agnes. I don't know. I think that was it. That's all I can remember. Yeah, Blur de Chanel. But it was pretty fucking funny. Oh, yeah, he made fun of Raphael too, but I don't think he really regrets that at all. So I backed up a couple of other Dior Hommes here. You guys go on. You guys carry on. I'll catch up to these comments in a bit. But, oh, somebody reached out to me the other day. I saw Roja Dove had commented on my video where I was with Christo and Carrar, and we were sampling a bunch of Arige and Roja Dove commented on my video, even though we weren't very positive on, I kind of felt bad after that he had watched the video and commented, because there was a couple of Rojas that I wasn't really crazy about, and I was just like, man, whatever. But it is what it is. I don't regret it. But he did leave a really positive comment, just saying thanks for doing this video, and I really appreciate your honesty. But Russian Adam had watched the video as well, and he hadn't commented, but he had reached me privately and said, hey, loved your video, and he wants to send a bunch of stuff out, I think from his newest line, whatever that means. I don't know. I'm not very in touch with Arige, or is he with Arige, Russian Adam? I think. But he wants to send a bunch of stuff out, and I did really enjoy pretty much everything that I sampled from Arige. Sampled some stuff from Fragrance Du Bois, which I wasn't really thrilled with. I'm not sure if they're connected or who owns Fragrance Du Bois, but Arige really, really stood out. Why don't Robes and Carlos get on? I'm not really sure. I don't know, and I don't want to speak for either of them. Yeah, Roja Dove is really nice, and when I see his positivity, it kind of like it weighs heavy on me to be, just a dick or be an asshole. Even though, I have to say, like, from the stuff that I've smelt and purchased from Roja Dove, he's a clone brand, man. Say whatever you want. His perfumes are way too close or inspired by, like, to not say it's not a clone brand. Not all of them. He might have his own, a couple of things that he does on his own, but he has a lot of perfumes that are inspired by classic masterpieces. So here is Dior Homme Intense, backing this one up as well. I'm not sure. I don't trust Dior. Dior is a fucking mess right now, and I don't know what they're going to do with this, so I wanted to back this up. Here's my old bottle. Even though, like, in 5 years, like, you can see how very little I've used. But still, let's spray some of this. I don't know if this has changed at all. I remember it being very ambery. So Serapio Silva says, Max40 might not be a dick either, but we won't know until he live streams. Good point, I feel like this is still the same. Nothing's really changed. It's a very ambery pear I'm picking up in the opening. So my old bottle was 2501, and this one is 7S01. Not sure what any of that means, nor do I really care. Blur de Chanel. Yeah. Is Robes in the house here? I see a couple of guys shouting out Robes. Robes is chill. Robes is super chill. I don't really think that you can get under his skin. Out. What's up, Frankie Rollins in the house? I've yet to try Creation E, but I really want to. A lot of people have so many good things to say about it, and I think that's one of his original creations. That's not an inspired by. But Serapio, I wonder why 4-0 doesn't do any live streams. Like, what is he afraid of? Robert Duncan bought a decant of Moon. How do you like it? Heritage is way better than Danger. See, I hear the opposite a lot. What's up, Vitor? I think Francois Demichet is one of the most overrated perfumers, like, in a long time. I don't know what he's really created that is so great. Like, when he's gone, what are people going to remember him by? Robes are eyebrows are here. I haven't seen his eyebrows anywhere yet. Rich Mitch says somebody has great tits. Carlos thinks Robes has a superiority complex. I don't think he does. I think he's just very confident. I don't think he thinks he's better than anyone. Serapio says every time I ask Carlos if he had sampled the night, he would get defensive. I wonder why. You should take your... I don't know why. But I'll take my bottle with me. I don't think he'll like it. I don't know if he's into those nasty, poopy things. Diaghilev is a by Roja is a copy of Mitsuko. Yes, it is an inspired by, but it's a very good inspired by. I'd like to see, yeah, Francois Demichet, most overrated in-house perfumer. Absolutely, I agree. Damn, between him and Christine Nagel, I don't know what is the bigger disaster. Leather Oud is signed by Demichet, which is an excellent perfume, but that's like one out of what, hundreds? I think his Oud Ispahan is a sloppy mess and not nearly as good as Leather Oud. But the thing about, I think Oud Ispahan was one of the first in that kind of genre, and it's been copied over and over and over again. So I give him credit for that. Carlos seems to dislike Christo a great deal. Well, he kind of asked me about Christo, and he's like, well, what about, because I kind of stuck out an olive branch, and he's like, well, what about Christo? I was like, well, I can't speak for anyone else but myself. So I'm giving you my olive branch. I'm sorry if I offended you or for all the nasty things I said. And I can't speak for anybody but me. So Vitor says we got to blame the marketing team. Not only do we got to blame the marketing team, I think we ourselves are kind of to blame too, because we keep buying this shit and until people stop buying this, are we going to get something considerate? Dior Privy honestly sucks. It does honestly suck. It's horrendous. I haven't tried the new Trafalgar. I don't even know what it's about. Like berries. All I see is berries, 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 sour berries. Somebody was wearing Lure Blue and got a comment of smelling like bathroom cleaner. That's weird. I get bathroom cleaner from like lemon or lavender dominant perfumes. I gave him a massive olive branch beef curtains. I think a lot of the perfumes now are they're marketed towards the Asian clientele, which really like that fresh, just the freshness. I know even Guerlain, a lot of the stuff they've been releasing, like even like in their exclusives, Frenchie, that was totally for Chinese market because they love that just clean, basic, boring stuff. And that's kind of what Sauvage is too. Dior 2020. Serapio stirring it up, but yeah, I'll read it out loud. I don't give a fuck. Carlos, you laughed at Carlos's response to my question about Miguel Matos. From what I remember, he called Matos pretentious, which I don't disagree with at all. Pretentious and boring, actually. No one talks about Tom Ford and Frank Homme anymore. I only like Tobacco Oud and his original ferment. Well, what are people talking about then? I think they're talking a lot about indie, niche, hard to find stuff that's not exactly mainstream. What's up, Daniel? All right, so I got one more here. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. And I've backed up Dior Homme 2011. I know they say they're going to keep this around and it's going to be rebranded as Dior Homme Original. But from what I understand, it's also going to be exclusive to Paris and it'll be quite difficult for us to get here. So they're not going to discontinue it, but it is going to be difficult to find. And there she is, Dior Homme. And I love this perfume, like absolutely. It's probably like the best $100 you can spend. So I've got that. I'm life here. I don't think I'll ever get through these. Here's the very first 50 ml that I got. There's the vintage 2005 Olivier Polge, and I've got a backup of that. And when they had changed this, when they had packaged it, the hysteria went out. The reformulation, oh my God, they destroyed Dior Homme. It's not the same. It's changed. They took out the cacao. They took out the lips. Oh my God, it was, the end of perfume. But to be honest, I prefer black stem a little bit more than silver stem. I just feel more, I cozy up more with black stem. So I don't think it was a huge blow. And it's not always it's not always correct that a reformulation destroys a perfume. I don't agree. So the only ones I've never owned have been sport. I really wish I had gotten, so there's three versions of the sport. I can't remember the year, but I really like the first one is obviously the best, and I really like the second version. The third version it's not as interesting as the first two. I think the first two had that ginger note, which was really nice, and then in the third one they took out the ginger. But the one they currently have now smells like Dior Homme 2020. That's what 2020 smells like. Which honestly, I don't think it's a bad fragrance. It's not a bad mass appealing scent. It's still, nice, well crafted, and it's just much fresher. They took out, that ambery glow and put this freshness into it. It's also very woody, like very cedary and vetivery, spicy. I think it's a little bit more spicy than the 2011. You guys are getting pervy now. Sport is so boring. I put in the trash. But I have to say, the 2020 is like one of the most boring things I've ever worn. There was one I wore it to work one time, and by lunch, I wanted to drive home, take a shower, and reapply. And if I wasn't so busy, I would have. But I was just like, oh, I can't wait for this day to end, just to change my scent. So Daniel Solis says, unpopular opinion, Dior Homme O is the best of the line. Well, I'm not sure if you were here, but I had just unboxed Dior Homme O as it's going to be discontinued. And this is my first bottle. I'll probably wear this tomorrow just to see what it's all about. I am curious. I have a feeling it's more powdery, and I love powdery frags. Powdery fags. I'm hoping it will be more powdery. 1957 next for me. I love 1957. Eugene likes the black stem now that he and Carlos are best friends. '2020 Sport. Yeah, if I can find the 2012 Sport, I would consider picking it up. So I don't own the Sport, and I've never owned the Cologne. I just don't really have much purpose for the Cologne or the Sport, really. I'm guessing those would be worn only on the hottest, most humid days of the year. Other than that, I couldn't imagine reaching for them ever. Huh. Iris Pudra it's a very bold perfume. It's very floral. If you don't like femme, it is leaning on the femme side, and if you're kind of worried about that, I tell you to sample it first. DHP or D. I personally prefer DHI to DHP. That's probably the unpopular opinion, but I really like DHI. Yeah, and that's it. So it looks like that's going to be the end of, or the Dior Homme line is going to change considerably now that the EDT is going to be harder to find. O is gone. I wonder if they're going to replace O with anything. I imagine they'll start bringing out new flankers to this 2020, and I'm not sure what's going to happen with DHI. Are they going to discontinue that just like they have O? So they've discontinued O for the North American market. Will they discontinue Intense for the European market? I know I've seen pictures online, but that doesn't mean shit, really. Do a collab with Curly Sense. I don't even know who that is. It smells better than Bleu de Chanel. Hmm. Yeah, Bleu de Chanel is not great. Chanel's coming out with a new men's fragrance. That'd be nice, but I don't think they're done flanking Blur, to be honest. Dries Van Noten or Monsieur. Hmm. One's really sweet, like very sweet. And the other, like Monsieur drives me nuts. Like one day I love it, and the next day I was like, "Ugh, this is horrible." And it's that opening. I can't stand the opening of Monsieur. It's very, I want to say synthetic-y. Like, I was really surprised when I smelled that for the first time. I was like, "This is coming from Frederick Mall," but once it transitions and it starts to dry down and evaporate on your skin, that patchouli is gorgeous. Very scratchy and resinous and smoky patchouli, leathery vanilla. It's quite well, once you can pass the first hour or so. I really dislike boozy scents. And I think it's a rum accord in the opening with tangerine, which I strongly dislike. I always find boozy scents really, really sweet. So I probably won't like Creation E, as we were talking about early. Creation E's got a big boozy accord in the opening. I heard from an insider that Chanel has been working for new men's perfume. That's why they keep releasing versions of Bleu. Well, Bleu's been 10 years now in the making. I think it came out in 2010. I honestly don't think they're done with Bleu. Probably going to see 2, 3 more flankers. What do I think of Le Male? Okay, so interesting. I was at the plaza today and I sprayed Le Male. It wasn't the regular bottle. It was like the more muscular looking, the beefier bottle. It was Essence, Parfum Essence or something. And I found it really interesting and so much different from all the other Le Males. I could swear there was a spicy cumin note in the opening. I got a lot of cumin and leather, which I was like really pleasantly surprised, and I liked it. But after a little bit of a while, it kind of started to dry down to a Lamal bubblegum accord, which yeah, it was the clear glass. It was still more interesting than regular Lamals and its 5,000 flankers. Lit trash. I agree. But I think Essence is pretty good for a designer. And I would almost, if I had sprayed it blindly, had no idea what it was. You could have convinced me it was probably like a $250 niche bottle or niche perfume. I got really a lot of cumin from it. Yeah, it could be cardamom. I don't know, but to me, it was very cuminy. It was so unlike all the other mass appealing scents on the same counter. The last 3 times I've ordered from Chanel at Christmas, they've given me a free bottle each time. Ben Lee getting free bottles. You some kind of influencer there, bro? How are you getting free bottles from Chanel? What kind of bottles were they sending you? Which one is Lamal Terrible? Is that the pirate? I remember buying original Lamal when it came out, like the year of the release. walking through the department store, and it was just everywhere. I swear they were spraying that crap out of the vents, and I bought it on the spot, like when it came out. The first time I smelled it, I was like, wow, gotta have this. Yeah. Chanel's really stingy, even with their samples. I'm surprised they're sending out free bottles. Ravageur is the best Frederick Mall. It's excellent. I love it. I love it a lot. It is one of my favorites. But depends what you like. Do you like musk? Do you like vanilla? You know, some people don't care for that. If they prefer rose, then they're gonna like portrait. I spent $4,000 at Chanel. Well, they should be sending you free fucking bottles. Do I like Frederick Mall Promise? Yeah, I like it a lot. I wore it yesterday, actually. We had a huge snowstorm. And the thing is relentless. It does not give up. It just keeps going and going and going. It's a lot of apple. Yesterday was all apple and cloves on me. Very scratchy patchouli. I like it. I don't think the people around me liked it. One of my sons is like, oh, what comment did he say? Oh, he says your perfume smells dirty. And I was like, what do you mean by dirty? And he didn't really want to get into it, but he didn't like it. But again, he's 8, so I wouldn't expect much more from him. What is better, Le Male Essence or Ultra? I can't answer that. I don't even know if I've ever smelled Ultra Male. Maybe these guys can answer, but if I were to run across a bottle of Le Male Essence for dirt cheap, I'd probably pick it up. But again, I would never wear it. Like, it would just sit here and rot. Chanel gave me a free snow globe. They have amazing snow globes. I remember harassing my Chanel sales assistant, and I think if I didn't let up, she would have given it to me, but she didn't want to part with it. But she also said, like, if you just pick it up and walk out of the store, I won't stop you. But it's not something I wanted to take a chance on. Yeah, Chanel's really fucking cheap. They're really stingy. I know their reps are told, like, if they notice bottles at Costco or discounters anywhere, to go and purchase them, and then they destroy them. So they really want to be considered like luxury and not something easily found at discount shops. Promise is really dry. It's really scratchy. You know what it reminds me of is like it's as scratchy as dusty concrete. If you ever like took apart concrete or smashed a concrete wall and there's all that dust particles floating in the air, I get a lot of that from it. Chanel killed Notino. Is that a fact? Is that true? I know Notino's fucked here in the US. They're done. I don't know why or what happened. I'm getting really tired of all these tobacco scents. It's like everybody's wanting to do tobacco now. What's up with that? Nobody has any new ideas. No, they never shipped to Canada, but you know, it was still cheaper. Latino had exceptionally low prices, so it'd still be cheaper for me to ship to a friend in the US and have it reshipped to Canada than to buy locally or from Canadian discounters. They had great prices. Even I remember the day when Fragrance X used to ship to Canada before they had all these registration fees, and it's insane now. But ordering from Fragrance Net used to be dirt cheap, and I'd order like 6, 8, 10 designers at a time. Now those same designers with the it's not a registration fee, it's some kind of a fee, would add an extra $150 to the final sale. Alex Chu just purchased Dior Homme. Oh, you could have got that at your buddy's there, Samir. He's got a few bottles left. What has Kevin Samuels done? What has he done? I don't know. But apparently he's going around. I heard from a couple of sales assistants in the Atlanta shop that he visits that he's going around bragging how he makes $900 an hour on YouTube. I'm like, who the fuck are you, Bill Gates or something? I don't think Robes isn't with Fragrance Net. He's with Fragrance X. It's two different entities. Lamal is awesome still. I can't say I agree with you. Sorry, Bobby O. There's a million things out there that, are just way more interesting. Would I try Aaron Terrence Hughes? Sure, I would try. I wouldn't buy them, but if I got sent some samples, I would definitely try them. What do I think of Tyron as well? Just T-Rex. I really like T-Rex. When I first sprayed T-Rex, it gave me goosebumps. I think it's a really good smoky perfume. But for me, it's very, very heavy, and you guys know that I like my lighter skin sense. And after 4 hours, it was just like too much for me. It was just like I must have sprayed too much on. It was just like overwhelming. Kind of the same way that Vintage Interlude Man was. Very heavy, very smoky. That's kind of the feeling I got, not the smell, more feeling wise. Both very, very heavy perfumes. But I think it's an excellent smoky, leathery, spicy fragrance. Very conceptual. How's the new Dior Homme formula? Oh, I didn't spray it, but I'm assuming it's the same. Let's give this a whirl. So this is (6W01). So I'm guessing that's a 2016. My old bottle is 3Q02. God, I love this stuff so much. All right. I think I'm going to wear O tomorrow. Woman's hand. I remember the first time smelling it, it's just like, wow. It was like instant love. Love at first sniff. Smells the same, like exact same. I get that pear. That pear punches me in the face right away. Pear, some smokiness. Canadian fragrance sites like Fragrance Buy and Perfumes Online are great. You know what? You can still get them cheaper if you go to Fragrance X most times. I'll compare, and somehow Fragrance X is always a little bit cheaper. Doesn't mean it's, the better site, but the mall is not awesome if you grew up where I did. You will literally get made fun of. I can imagine. It just kind of reminds me of, seeing all these clone brands come up, and I was like, man, don't you guys remember being in school, like in grade 3 or 4, and if you came to school with a fake pair of, I don't know, Nikes, or even if you wore like crappy shoes with Velcro on them, you'd get made fun of. And now, like, or if you're in a watch club and you're wearing, a fake Rolex, or people make fun of you. But why? I don't know why it's so acceptable for these fake fragrances in this community. Doesn't make any sense. Who made a video on how to make your dick bigger? I heard Kevin is a pastor. I can't imagine that. Isn't he like a ladies' man, always chasing tail? Just purchased Dior Homme old formulation. Old formulation that, like, the 2011. This is crazy. I'm looking at the comments, and out of nowhere, they just kind of jump and they disappear, and it's so damn confusing reading these comments. Like, I'll be scrolling, and just by themselves, they just jump off screen, and then I got to go back, and I lost my fucking place. You guys have no idea how irritating this can be. All right, so we were talking about somebody made a video on how to make your dick bigger. And then somebody said I'm assuming Kevin Samuels is a pastor. I didn't know that, but I have a hard time imagining that. Yeah, I do have T-Rex, Alex. I'm going to meet up with Alex Chu on Tuesday, I think, and I'll bring it with me. Aaron reminds me of Eugene. He doesn't give a shit about popular perfume. I think he likes a lot of. I've watched a couple of his reviews. I think he liked Oud Wood by Tom Ford, which I didn't like at all. I think I watched a couple of. I think I watched his Rose d'Arabie and his MFK Oud. He didn't like Oud Satin Mood, from what I remember, which I didn't like either. Peter says, as a fan of honey, bee was sadly disappointing. Smells burnt, almost plastic. I've never smelled bee yet. Yeah, Hero sold a lot of DHIs. He loved that stuff. Keen to maximum deals. Cool. Place is great. I highly recommend it. He's got a lot of good prices. And Samir's just an awesome dude. Samir and Larry. Jeremy's 6'6", really? I didn't know that. But he's probably like 100 pounds soaking wet. Wearing concrete boots too. Can't imagine he's very heavy. You guys are starting to pull my tongue here. Queer Mud-esque is very good. I remember smelling it on Christo a few times and going, man, that's really nice. Smoky tanned leather. Yeah. You can get it in the new packaging on one of the discount shops. It's quite pricey though. I don't think I would pay. I think it's like $400. I don't know if I would pay that. Fate from Memoirs. That's the really spicy one. I liked Fate. I don't own it, but I liked it. Very, very spicy, like Indian cooking spices. Is that the one with the bottle is kind of pearl white? Is the football game over? I missed everything. Should I buy DHI too? I would. You've got a lot of money, so spend it and get some good perfumes, Alex. I never said I like dick. You're putting words in my mouth. Monsieur de Monsieur. If you have Jiki, I'm not sure you need Monsieur de Monsieur. I mean, they're both kind of similar. I would pay $60 for Monsieur de Monsieur. It's very fresh. It is very fleeting, almost like an eau de cologne. So, you know, just know that. When am I going to get tacos? Probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Carlos says he works retail, so weekends are tough. So I'm probably going to have to go during the week, which I don't mind. I'll turn the lights on. How long does Dior Homme last? All day for me, man. All day. All day it lasts. Favorite sandalwood? Traditional Bois d'Azil is probably my favorite. Samsara is good. If you want to go, something more modern, Tam Dao is excellent. If you like sweet, Dries Van Noten. That's the one BFL was spraying. He kept reapplying a Dries all night. And then he started lapping Zaharoff pour home over top. George was on the live stream and he was matching all super chats. And every time he did, Carlos would go and reapply some more Zaharoff pour home. It's pretty funny. Guadil is amazing. Do I wear the Guerlain Eau de Colognes? I don't. To be honest, I don't. If I'm going to wear Eau de Cologne, I just wear Chanel Eau de Cologne. And that for me is... I feel like I'm wasting my time with those Guerlain Eau de Colognes. But I really like, for Bois d'Ile, I really like the EDP more than the EDT. I've got both, and the EDP really stands out more to me. It's just so much easier to smell. I hate Santal 33. I think it's horrible. It's very nasty and loud and obnoxious, and it doesn't even make any sense. Like, I don't know what they're trying to do with, like, what are they trying to say with Santal 33? What is the purpose of that fragrance? It's to be noticed, but not in the right way. Next Roja purchase. I don't know if I'm going to buy any more Rojas. I don't know. I might even sell the ones that I've bought, to be honest. Like if I'm gonna wear Diaghilev, I might as well just wear Mitsuko, even though the other one I got is really damn good. Um, the Bellamy inspiration. What's it called? I'm not familiar with Sacred Wood, but I love sandalwood as a note, so I should probably try that. No, Santal, yeah, Fetish. That's right. Santal 33 is horrible. Honestly, I strongly dislike it. It's one of the worst fragrances I own, along with African Leather. I can't stand that one either. African Leather, Santal 33. What else? Hmm. Most Le Labos suck, honestly. I agree. What a fucking trash brand if I've ever came across one. Le Labo and Byredo, I can't stand either of those. The only Chanel X-Rates I own are number 5 and Coco Mademoiselle. And yeah, I do wear them. They're like a Sunday scent for me. I like them both a lot. How do I feel about L'Homme Dial line? I think they're a good designer representation. I really like L'Homme Dial EDP, even though it's like very sweet and I feel goofy if I wear it, but I do like it. What I think about Black Orchid. I own Black Orchid and I don't wear it very much. What houses do you want to try? That's a good question. What I guess from stuff that I haven't, it would be a lot of indie niche. A lot of this new stuff. I'd love to try Steven's stuff. Stop ignoring me. Sorry, I must have missed your comment. And if it's if it's something of substance, I'll read it out. But I'd like to try Steven's stuff, which I probably will if I go to New York. Who else? I wouldn't mind trying Peter's stuff. What else? I've never tried anything from Nishane. Would like to try a bunch of Histoire de Parfums. I really want to try Fidelis. That's one that's like on the top of my head. Fidelis is something I really want to try, just because I really like the Moon, and it's the same perfumer. Yeah, I want to try Rogue. I know Crystal has a sample set, but he hasn't brought them over. He's fucking hoarding them for himself. You could have my bottle of Absolution. I will never wear it. Why wouldn't you wear it? Answer that for me. What's up, Heinz? Yeah, I'd love to try some psychedelic. I really want to try, or the Jovoy psychedelic. That's the patchouli, right? What's your favorite Mugler? I guess the women's. Oh, I won't buy any of the men's, the Amens. I own Amen and Pure Havana. Too sweet. I don't mind Amen, but the rest they're not for me. I like the women's. I like Aura. I like Alien. Am I gonna have sex later with Carlos? Probably not. I don't like Absolution. It reminds me of Baccarat Rouge 540, which I also dislike. Well, I like Baccarat Rouge 540. I like it a lot, and I like it more for its technical aspects than what it actually smells like. Because it's really weird. It is very sweet, but I like how transparent and light it is, and the way it just jumps off skin. and it disappears and it plays peekaboo and hide and seek and that kind of thing. It's really funny like that, and it's got, I like that herbal qualities, and but I can't stand smelling my shirt the next day. Like when I pick my shirt up off the floor or off out of the hamper to do laundry, and I smell Baccarat Rouge 5. It's absolute vile. It's so sweet. It's sickening, maddening sweet. I don't like it, but I do enjoy wearing. Amen flankers are all pedestrian garbage. I absolutely agree. It's a kind of a joke range. I gotta approve some of these comments. They get flagged. I got a question for Serapio if he's still here, and I want to know why he only shows up in live streams and why I never see him in the comments of regular videos. I've always wondered that. Like, why are you only a live streamer? Why are you like that? I think I'm gonna get Oudsat and Mood EDP this year. I'm not a fan of Oudsat and Mood. But I do like 540, and I do like Grand Soir. It was underwhelming. Yeah, Baccarat Rouge 540 can be underwhelming, but you spend some time with it. You might change your mind. It was weird for me at first, too. It was like, for the first 30 minutes, I was like, maybe I should go put some more on because I can't smell it. It was so strange. And I'd walk around the corner and I'd come back and it'd like smash me in the face like a Louisville slugger. And I'm like, oh, there it is. Yeah, I hated Grand Soir the first time I tried it as well. Sweet, 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 and weird. It was very strange. And because I hated it so much, I wore it again the very next day. And I preferred it a lot more the second time I wore it. I hate Instant Crush. That's the Mancera, I believe, right? Are there any clones of 540 that are actually better than the MFK? Where's Robes? I want to know where Robes is. Or if somebody has Max 40's phone number, please post it here. Maybe we can give him a call and ask him when he's going to post his next compliment getter. I bought Cloud, Ariana Grande Cloud for I think she's 12 years old, my 12-year-old niece, and she loves it. I think it's a good, replica. Midsummer. I've never tried Midsummer Dream. We've got nowhere to try these. We've got no test. We don't have an authorized Roja distributor here, so it's hard for us to try these. And it was like, I don't know, $70. What is 540 retail for? Canadian? It's probably $300. But I know Guerlain's going to be releasing their new Absolute d'Orient. It should be within the next month, and it's going to be patchouli theme. Did you get snow? We got a ton of snow yesterday, like a ton of it. where I was gonna take the kids out to the movies, or I was like, "Do you guys want to go swimming or skate?" And was like, we just stayed indoors all day, and they played video games. I can't stand video games. I feel goofy playing video games, and it's really boring too. I haven't tried any imaginary. I tried one in a video with Chad, and I think he's removed it since. But it was the vanilla one, 195 at Selfridges. So that's American. It's probably closer to 275 Canadian. I also understand Guerlain's releasing those Absolute d'Orient bottles. They're in 125 ml now, and they're going to release them in 75 ml and 200 ml sizes, which is insane. That a voice, Serapio. Confession. I like confession time. We should play this a little bit more. I have won multiple giveaways from Sebastian Jara and a few others using fake. So this is your real account, then? I don't do it anymore, but years ago. That's really funny, actually. I love hearing shit like that. Meisenser. I'm not very familiar. Is that whose brand is Meisenser? Is that something that Duchefort is working on? Remind me, who is Meisenser? Peter, why don't you like imaginary authors? I can't say because I haven't smelt enough. And I remember, what was the vanilla one? It was just really smoky vanilla for the few minutes I've tried. It was warm and it wasn't bad. I don't think it was awful. Meisenser is Marillis. Ugh. I don't think it'll be a good match for me. Ivan finds the moon creamy. I don't remember cream. I remember smoky and fruity and extremely loud. And it's like charred black smoke. I know I see the color black when I wear it. It's like black leather, black smoke, fruity red raspberry, rose, oud, cumin, huge cumin note in opening, very spicy cumin. Mr. Miami Cuddles. ATH fat shamed me and took the video down. Well, tell us, Miami, how did that make you feel when he fat shamed you? What were you feeling inside? Let's get into this. What kind of emotions did that trigger for you? Do I like Patchouli Absolute? Is that the Tom Ford? I love Patchouli. I like Patchouli. If it's a Tom Ford, I do like it. I don't own it, but I do like it. I like it creamy. Ben Lee likes it creamy. So, Mr. Miami Cuddles, what about him calling you fat are you so upset about? Let's get into this. Somebody called him fat and shamed me. Did you feel ashamed? Did you feel different? because whatever somebody says is not really a reflection of you. I was honestly laughing. Well, that's a good response. It's more a reflection of, whoever said it. I mean, I know I've said a lot of stupid shit, and even like talking to Carlos, he was like, I didn't say this to him, but if it comes up again, I'm going to tell him like, yeah, we talk shit about you on the live stream, but it's not really meaningful. It's just jock talk, bros talking stupid shit. We got into the moment, and guys were asking. I don't even remember what I had said. Like that's how like irrelevant it is, but without realizing, at the same time you're hurting somebody's feelings. But it wasn't coming from a mean or nasty place. It was just literally, trying to entertain people or being goofs. So who's the ATH went off on and calling somebody a failed perfumer? Does anyone know who he was talking about? Who's the failed perfumer? Mr. Cuddles isn't fat. He's thick. I don't think you're fat. I think you look excellent, man. You were the guy. That's right. He invited you over to his house to cuddle with his dogs. I would take him up on that offer. My obsession with Pinot Silvestre started after I saw a very old video of adolescent saying it was one of the fragrances he regretted purchasing. That day I made it my mission honestly, it's one of the worst fragrances I've ever tried. No offense, Serapito, but it's fucking bad, man. Like really bad. Oh man. So he made a 10-minute video saying Miami Cuddles should start throwing up to lose weight. Man, coming from a sensitive person, he's really putting it out there. And I think if you're going to be really sensitive, you need to watch what you're, how you're criticizing other people, because it's karma. It's going to come back to you. And not when you expect it. It's like spitting in the wind, but the wind keeps carrying it and it goes around the world, and 3 months later it catches up to you and hits you on the side of the face, and you're like, who the fuck spit on me? That's what this is. That's what karma is. And so I watched part of his video today. It was like 18 minutes. I watched like the first 5.5 minutes. I'm like, man, I should go wash the dishes or something because I've got shit to do. But it seems like when I read the title, what was the title? Somebody remind me of the title. It was like hate email or hate comments. And after talking to some people, these weren't comments left on his videos. He's literally scouring the internet, searching for people talking about him, which is different than somebody leaving hate comments on his channel. But if you're looking for that, it's probably a mistake if you're really sensitive. And I'm surprised he's so sensitive as he is with all the therapy he's gone through. Therapy kind of gives you those tools to help you deal with those emotions. I didn't delete any. My question got deleted. It was not this question stupid. I didn't delete anything, Kenny Benny. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I definitely sympathize with the dude. Like he's been through a lot, and I feel bad for anyone that's got to go through that kind of abuse. And it's I wish the guy all the best in his endeavor and his perfume making. I hope he makes $1 million this year, but I personally wouldn't be scouring the internet searching for hate comments about myself. It can't be good mentally. Maybe he'll talk trash about Eugene on Facebook. I'm not really concerned. Will I surrender to Carlos? Carlos is a good dude. He takes a lot of heat, especially, I don't know why, he's got a lot of trolls. But honestly, the guy just loves perfume, like, and that's what it's all about. So, and I like him for that reason. He genuinely loves perfume. Sometimes it doesn't match up with my taste, but who cares? Will you play niche or designer with Carlos? Is that where I'm supposed to guess if the fragrance is niche or sure? I'll play anything with Carlos. My hair looks great without so much gel. Thanks, man. I never know what to do with it. Carlos is one of the real New York. I actually saw one of your one shot for. I saw your video with Carlos the other day. I think you guys were testing Zerjoff. Honestly, I wish Carlos would stream every night. I'd be late for work every day just to watch him. And there's not many guys that I'd be willing to, stay up with that late. I think he was on till his streams didn't start till like midnight, 11:30 or close to midnight, and he was on till it was probably 2 a.m. I think he had a couple of days off. They were fucking hilarious. Clone of Chanel Allure. Is there a clone of Chanel? Why would anyone want to clone Chanel Allure? Oh, that's one of the Zerjoffs is a clone of Allure Homme, isn't it? I'd like to see a Crystal and you. I'd like to do another Sacco shit, but Crystal's really not into that segment anymore. I don't know why. Or I think he said he's been really cautious of what he's been buying in his blind buying, so he doesn't really have much to go in there into that sack. And broker a peace deal with. I don't think Cristo has anything against Carlos. If he said anything, it was probably in a drunken stream. But Cristo's not one to hold a grudge or. Oh man, you You can't see, but I'm actually turning red. Good thing I'm in the fucking in the dark. I actually I saw the name a little earlier. I was gonna say Bieber, John, John, Justin Bieber. Biebel sent me a sample pack of his January scent projects. I haven't opened it up yet, but I want to do maybe a first impressions or something. Has anyone tried those? Thoughts? I wish I could blind buy less, but I refuse to buy. My blind buy success hasn't been good. And I was like, why do I keep doing this? Like, there's so many things that I want that I know that I like and I want. Like, why don't I just tick those off my list? Why don't I buy those instead of things I've never smelled before? And I guess part of the fascination is that risk. It's that dopamine hit we're looking for. So we're talking about Demi Rawlings' Pussycat. You like Smolder Dose, eh? Smolder Rose. Yeah, I should try those, but I want to try. I don't know if they're in. I haven't not opened the package yet, and I want to check to be sure they're in atomizers and not dabs, so I can properly try them the way I like. I'm guessing Smolder Roses. Is it a green rose? I like green roses. Terre de Hermes made the Sacco shit list. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Crystal's tastes aren't very mainstream. Is the new Guerlain Patchouli Absolute with rose or oud? I'm not sure. I don't know what the notes are. I don't know what the supporting notes are. I just know it's patchouli themed, and it should be out within the month. Is Guerlain EDT cool? Worth it is or trash? It's not very multi-purpose for me. It's very fresh. It's good to throw into your gym bag or on a nice warm spring day. Am I a fan of Ombre Nui? I kind of like it. I don't think it's like mind blowing, but it's a decent it's a decent fragrance. I don't know if it's worth the price though. I don't know if a lot of the Maison Dior couture fragrances are worth the price. Female reviewers have a lot of thirsty guys in their comments. I'm only a simp. What does a simp mean? Yeah, I feel bad for women reviewers. There's a lot of pegs, man. You can see just the narcissism coming out in those comments. I feel sorry for these ladies. Like, what do? You want the attention, but you start blocking, all these guys. I've talked to a couple of female reviewers that have gone through that. Dior Eau Noir is worth at least, I think it's one of the most overrated lavender fragrances. I think it's bold, Eau Noir, and I think it used to be different than what I have now. My bottle used to smell like when I first smelled Eau Noir, it had like this this spicy curry note in the opening, and strawberry, and it was just super spicy. And whenever I wear my bottle, it's like I'm looking for that first heroin hit. I've never done heroin, but they'd say you're always looking for that first hit, or you're chasing that high. That's like every time I wear my Eau Noir, I'm chasing that curry high, and I never get it. I'm like, Do you guys know what I mean? Does anyone get curry from Eau Noir? Best designers besides Dior Homme. Wow, best designers. Most of mine would be old school, like Anteus, Bellamy, uh, Egoist. I really like Egoist. YSL has a lot of good old school designers. I love Roca Bar too. Roca Bar is so underappreciated. Nobody ever talks about Roca Bar. Yes, Eau Noir is pure curry soup. See, I don't. Somebody sent me a sample of Eau Noir, and it must have been an old sample, and it was all curry. I think I still have a little bit left from that sample. And then I went and I bought a bottle. I was like, "There's no damn curry in here." You're dead on. I can't get past the spice in Noir. See, for me, it's not spicy enough. It's not spicy like I remember it, unless my memory's playing tricks on me. Ben Lee says Queer Orange is my favorite queer. I think it's my second favorite after Queer de Russie. Oh shit, my battery's gonna die. I gotta plug in my laptop. I think Queer de Russie is, not, I don't think, I know Queer de Russie is my favorite in that queer, in the Elton John category. Sandland referenced Roca Bar in his last review. What did he say about it? I'd imagine he likes it. I got the Roca Bar, like the most modern bottle. I think it's excellent. I don't think there's a need to go search for the old Roca Bar. And what's the other one? It's Equipage. Equipage is good too, but I prefer Roca Bar a little bit more. Equipage is more leathery. Actually, they both quite leathery, but I found Roca Bar was way more complex and greeny and just more outdoorsy, very woody. Ombre leather is a good. I think it is a good, but I find it a little bit underwhelming, kind of like one dimensional. If you could keep only one girl on, man, I strongly dislike questions like this. It would be Mitsuko or L'Heure Bleu. I get all day with new Roca bar as well. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with it. Just buy it. You hate equipage. I don't love equipage either, but there's the geranium equipage, which is quite good as well. Yeah, I get bored with ombre leather too. It's very one dimensional and doesn't, I don't know, it's kind of missing those twists and turns. It's still a good leather fragrance. Lancome Queer is good. It is good. It's really good and underappreciated. How do I compare Bois Mysterieux and Songe? I think they're very similar. The Selfridges ship to Canada? I don't think they do. Fragrance Journeys in the house, deleting messages. Must be nasty if you're deleting messages, bro. I should probably kill this because I got to get up. No, there's. I don't even know what Selfridges is. Isn't that like a UK based retailer? I don't think it's American. I'm not familiar with a lot of the latest Tom Fords like anthracite, and what's the metallic? I smelled metallic once, and I was like, not sure about this. And I can't recall ever smelling anthracite. Yes, I really want to try those Celine perfumes. That's one thing that's on my radar is Celine. And I've been hearing good things about them. And we don't have them here in Canada, but somebody said to me, keep your eye out because when you get them, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. And I think they take a lot of Chanel aspects and apply them to their line. Even the bottles look similar. If you Google their bottles, they look very similar to Les Exclusives. Yeah, and they're very powdery. I'm really excited to try those. Even though I don't like the naming, I don't like the names of their fragrances. They're just very English, American, Canadian. They're not, the bougie French. They don't have the cool names like Chanel is. Bathtub sandwich. Great name. Do you eat sandwiches in the bathtub? But yeah, I totally forgot about Celine. Is the Beau de Jour different in the regular in the designer bottle than it is from the private? Pretend to be gay. Get women in your house. Damn, that just might work, eh? Hi from Montreal. I'm kind of lost here in the comments. I'm not sure what you guys are all going on about, but I'm gonna kill this. But it was nice to chat. So I don't know. Thanks for watching. Serapio, enjoy your day off. Let us know. Fill us in. Text me. Let me know what you're doing. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Night. All right. Love you too, Ben Lee. Fucker.